Hello, my name is Caleb Webb. Welcome to the Build the Mansion project, where we aim to build the iconic Spencer Mansion to scale, a 1-to-1 ratio. If you are curious about this project and are a Resident Evil fan, you have come to the right place. If you are from Cairo and have no idea what the Spencer Mansion is, this video is for you as well. What is Biohazard? What is Resident Evil? Known as Biohazard in Japan, or Resident Evil in the States, this video game was released on the PlayStation 1 gaming console. In America, Resident Evil was ready for purchase in March of 1996. This video game, like many other PlayStation 1 titles, had full motion video, also known as FMVs. At the time, this was a revolutionary jump. Game carts had met their match. CD-ROMs could now hold much more data, therefore being able to display movie-like, live-action cutscenes. The intro to Resident Evil was instantly iconic, and sparked the imagination of many players from around the world. The game is considered, in many ways, to be the first of its kind, survival horror. Now, it was not technically the first survival horror video game, but it was unique and original. One feature that stood out from the rest was tank controls. Alone in the Dark was another PS1 title that had tank controls. The tank controls were difficult to operate the playable character, making the game that much more terrifying. Most people at the time were switching from 2D games like Mario to these new 3D game environments. The DualShock analog controller had not came out yet, so players at the time were using the directional pad. Up was always forward, left and right to steer the player. The game also had fixed camera angles, so the player, depending on the camera angle, could navigate through the game effectively, using their memory of each area visited based on the orientation of the displayed room. Originally, Shinji Mikami wanted Biohazard Resident Evil to be a first-person game, but due to the 3D skill limitations at Capcom and the PlayStation, it just didn't work out. Shinji Mikami has expressed that he has always been embarrassed of the tank controls, but most veteran RE gamers thought it to be a masterful choice, created by a genius, but actually it was a choice made from compromise. I think the tank controls give Biohazard Resident Evil a unique revolutionary style of gameplay that people still have love for today. Let's talk about the title with some context. For some of you that might not be familiar with this franchise, Biohazard was the name for the series, but unfortunately for Capcom, Biohazard was already claimed under copyright by a band in the United States. Capcom had a contest to pick the new name, and Resident Evil won the most votes. Now, if you're new to this series, you may assume the protagonist and his or her companions could be the evil ones. But the game has nothing to do with demons, ghosts, or any demonic entities. It does have to do with an evil pharmaceutical company developing biological weapon experiments. The Tyrant virus, in short the T-virus, is being developed for a new era of warfare, an era where alternating DNA to make biological weapons of mass destruction. So even though there are no demons in the game, there are evil conspiracies that have developed monsters with a virus. Wesker, the main antagonist of the first game, is actually conducting an observational experiment to collect battle data of the efficacy of the monsters within the mansion. Now, Resident Evil was not entirely an original concept. A movie called Sweet Home, which Capcom created a Nintendo game depicting the movie, definitely influenced the idea for Resident Evil, but that's a story for another time. There is one character that I believe is very iconic within the video game. That is the actual environment of the game, the Spencer Mansion. The Spencer Mansion is made up of 7 levels total. Each room is distinct and unique. The Spencer Mansion is known by many video game players as a very iconic environment. As far as the series goes, it's the first environment full of locked doors, puzzles, and monsters. Special Police Team STARS has to work through the trials of the mansion and keep moving forward to investigate, survive, and escape the situation. Pablo Kuntz, the original voice actor of Albert Wesker, has a unique perspective of the game that I believe is the mantra of why this game is so appealing to such a vast audience. The game is about facing your fears and opening doors of opportunities. I believe this is a beautiful symbolic representation of what Resident Evil is at its very core, and why it is so attractive to players, and in turn is timeless. This door of opportunity can bridge into the physical world as well. I really do believe the Spencer Mansion could be a real-life destination for Resident Evil fans across the world. Other popular destinations have been made in the past that I believe are a great proof of concept. So Disney World is a good example of how magical movie environments can be created for a real-life experience. Star Trek was also created as a real-life environment where fans could participate and act out roles and missions within the Star Trek universe. More recently, Noah's Ark from the Bible has been built to scale for people from all around the world to see. Lastly, an example from a video game franchise is the new Super Mario World in Japan, the Mushroom Kingdom in real life. These are a few examples that show how successful the Spencer Mansion can be. So let's talk about location for the Spencer Mansion. So I am a longtime resident of Southern Illinois. I grew up in Franklin County on Park Street Road near Rend Lake. Southern Illinois is a part of the Midwest. Resident Evil is set in a small Midwestern town called Raccoon City. The video game is most likely near the Ozark Mountains. Now, it has been said before that Raccoon City is probably in Springfield, Missouri, and the Arklay Mountains from the game are most likely the Ozark Mountains. I will say there is another likely destination at the foothills of the Ozark Mountains near Southern Illinois called Shawnee National Forest. I believe that Southern Illinois is another plausible location for this project. Southern Illinois is considered to be a depressed area, especially the further south you go. Cairo, Illinois, Alexander County, has always been on my heart for the most appropriate location. There is a unique history in this area, some of which parallel the fictional Spencer Mansion taste and privileges. Now, Cairo already has a standing Victorian-style mansions and architecture that complements the possibility of creating the Spencer Mansion in real life. We would spare no expense and create a Victorian, legitimate Spencer Mansion. The mansion would be for the people, by the people, for the fans, by the fans. This world destination will create jobs, create commercial and residential, and possibly even industrial growth. What could a Spencer Mansion supply as far as entertainment? Live entertainment from local student talent as thespians, caretakers for the mansion, lawn maintenance, Capcom merchandise if we get licensing permissions from Capcom, hotels, restaurants, murder mystery dinners, Resident Evil Day, a wax museum with interactive tours, gaming conventions, movie production, helicopter rides, escape rooms, and seasonal experiences. There are many more ideas for this space. Sky's the limit, but not limited to just a video game. Bed and breakfast options could be available as well. Weddings, private parties, other mansion connoisseurs. The Biltmore Mansion is seen by thousands every day. I believe the craftsmanship of the Spencer Mansion will be just as spectacular and appreciated in the same kind of way. For people that have loved the environment from the video game, and for the people that can appreciate the fine craftsmanship. If you have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for being here. If you are from Cairo, please let me know in the comments what you think about this potential project. If you are a Resident Evil fan, shoot me some ideas on how you think the Spencer Mansion could be a destination of entertainment. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell to stay up to date with all the Build the Mansion progress. please check the description for our social media links. The Facebook group is where I am most active. We will build the mansion. Take care.